All right, so we got some pretty cool evening light. The sun's kind of coming down this way, right down this kind of quiet cobblestone road here. There's graffiti and some cool stuff going on. But the main thing here is we're gonna shoot today without any lights and just use this natural light kind of coming down the greens. We got these nice greens in the trees. We got Sandra here. So I think we'll try that rose dress, although this looks pretty good. But look at this, we got nice, look that way, I want to see that light. See how as she goes this way, we have that nice soft light on her face, a little bit of dimension, a little bit of ratio. Okay, good. Now work it a little. There you go. Let dress up just a little bit. What I'm going to do, we're probably going to talk more about these in our photo kit videos that you can get over at seimeffects.com, but I'm just going to do a quick 5-minute edit video. So we're going to take one of my favorites like this one right here. Okay. This is a straight raw file. And I'm just going to show you guys how I would go through and do a quick but thorough edit using our presets, actions, things like that, whatever tools we have available. And I'm going to kind of limit myself to 5 minutes on this edit. We're going to start the 5-minute clock. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to develop module on this guy. I'm going to use some of the Filmist presets. This is Filmist 1.2, and it looks pretty good out of camera, but I'm just going to get a little bit of a filmic pop to it, and I'm going to use the Fuji Pro 400H on this. Okay, so usually what I would do is kind of go through, sample a few that fit my visualization, and I'm just going to go down here. What I am going to do, since I'm going to Photoshop, is go down to the grain, and I'm going to turn the grain to 0. I think the grain is great, and I'll usually do it before I go out to the final image, but generally if I'm going to Photoshop to do smoothing and things like that, I'll actually take that grain away to avoid any additional artifacts or anything like that. Okay, here we are. I've just popped into Photoshop, and we're going to just take some different actions. The first thing I'm going to do is build a map. This is from the Lumist action collection. I'm going to take the zone 8 and 9 here from Lumist and just darken those down just a little bit so I don't have to manually burn and dodge. So I'm selecting, I'm going to feather those by 25 and then just use a darken curve right here. That's going to hide our map, and you can see we've just darkened down those highlights just a little bit. Now I'm going to look here. We got some nice catch lights. It looks good. There's a little bit of bags under her eyes. We're going to work with that. I'm going to shift Control Alt E and make a flattened layer on top of this. And then I'm just going to do some manual things right here using the spot healing brush just to take away a few minor blemishes and things like that. I'll usually do this before I do any sort of smoothing. Now I'm going for a natural edit on this shoot. We had natural light. I don't want there to be an extreme edit. So I'm just doing very gentle cleanups. I don't want to turn her skin to paste or anything like that. So I'm gonna go back to my actions, and I'm gonna go to Lumist 2. One of my favorites for a quick edit is in here, the Freak Retouch here in the portrait toolbox. And what this will do is do kind of a frequency separation layer. What that means is we're separating the texture from the color so we can smooth things out. I'm going to turn off or turn down substantially the Glam Retouch. I don't want too much of a glow. You can see that what this is doing, it's preserving detail in the eyes, but we're just really smoothing the skin with that frequency separation while still maintaining a natural look. So I'm just going to leave that just as it is, and we're already looking really good and kind of ahead of time here. Let's work on those eye bags. That's another thing I'll use from Alchemist, which is kind of our all-in-one retouching collection. I could do this manually, I could clone this out, but using the eye bag brush, which is again frequency separation, works really good. I'm going to run this action. You can see it's black, it's all masked out. So I'm going to adjust my brush with Alt and just moving that mouse around. Get a nice soft brush. I don't want to cross over into the eyes. I want to keep those sharp. So I'm just going to paint those bags out just a little bit. And you can see here, don't want to go too far. All right, now you can see all I've done is lighten them up a little bit. And you might think, well, that's not much. The beauty of a frequency separation tool is not simply the lighting them up. You'll see it says texture patch here. All I have to do is go to here, go to the patch tool, and then I'm going to select kind of the lines under the eyes. When you're retouching eye bags, you want to be careful. You don't want to turn it all to paste because it will actually make it unnatural. So you can see that I'm kind of taking lines and doing individual marks here just to smooth this out a little bit. Now I could also lighten this up just a little bit because it seems a little dark. I'm going to go to the curves layer that's already in here and just pop it up just a little bit so it's brighter. Now I'm going to take the whole thing and turn it down to about 70%. So we have a little bit of that natural lines underneath there, but we've cleaned it up a lot. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Let's wrap this up with the Alchemy Eyes brush, and we're just gonna do that real quick. Sharpen up around the eyes. We're really close right now, so it's really intense, but you can see we're enhancing the catch lights just a little bit, and I can also manually edit the curve to bring in a little bit more in the shadows of the eyes if I want to tweak the highlights a little and just get it right where I want it. Not a large change, I just want to make them pop a little bit. Again, as I'll often do, I'm going to turn down the opacity now so it's not too intense. Okay, I think we're looking good. I'm just going to Shift Command Option E again. So we've ran like 3 actions. Now I have a flat layer on top. All I'm going to do is do a manual burn and dodge like we talk about in the burn and dodge videos. I'm at midtones. I've got exposure at about 10%, and I'm just going to darken some things down here around her. Real gently so that we don't get banding, some distractions. I could do some more cloning with the whites and the colors and all of this stuff, but I think we're looking actually pretty good here. I'm going to switch to highlight burn for just a little bit in these areas so they don't distract because they're too light. And I'm going to switch to the sponge tool to take a little bit of desaturation out of this foreground so the rocks, the cobblestones there are a little more gray and natural. And again, just finishing up that burn by keeping the sidelines rich but dark. And I think we are looking pretty good. Let's look at a before and after. 5 minutes. I might have fudged it just a little bit. Here's where we started, and here is where we ended. Beginning, end. We maintained the natural feel. We could do a little more. She's not plastic. She looks good. We can now crop the image maybe up a little bit from the bottom and the top, and we'll have a finished piece that looks really great. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys an example of a quick edit, how it doesn't always have to be arduous. We don't have to go over the top. We can just make a nice, clean edit that's ready to go to print. I can now save it back into Lightroom, put a little grain back on it if I want, and texture and everything is looking phenomenal. Nice image in camera and just some clean, simple editing. This is why I use actions. This is why I use presets, because to do all of this manually would have taken me 4 or 5 times as long. It's not that we shouldn't know and understand all these techniques. It's that by having the right tools and using those tools to get our job done, we can make it so much faster and so much better. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want to see more of these quick edit, start to finish type of videos, let me know in the comments. All right, peace.